Hello Wolves fans, wishing you a happy new year and welcome to the first GTA Fancast of 2022, where I'll be reviewing the fantastic 1-0 victory over Manchester United, richly deserved and broken down in a very neat couple of minutes by Bruno Lage. But I'm just going to talk you through exactly what he was referring to in that interview and just how overwhelmingly ahead of Manchester United we were over the 90 minutes. Now, Wolves and Bruno Lage have rightly taken the plaudits for their performance in this game against United, and Bruno quite neatly summed up the way he broke this game down in a couple of minutes within the post-match interview. And what he spoke about was being able to dominate the game inside and kind of outside as well, and looking for where the fullbacks are specifically. I just want to kind of illustrate that on the board here. Now, first of all, Ralf Rangnick spoke about how within the midfield we were able to dominate possession and they couldn't really cope with that. And what I found with the team selection initially, and I kind of saw this coming really, is that with Trincao and Podence in the team, you know that Bruno is looking to dominate possession within the game. And what he does by doing that is create this kind of square of players. If you look at Jimenez in the middle, likes to drop deep, Podence, Trincao, and you can see here straight away that we're able to create a situation where we're totally overwhelming the central midfield of the opposition. When you look at the average positions within the game for Wolves as well, you can see that we're all not quite nicely knitted together, playing lots of little patterns of play between them, and really all technically gifted on the ball and able to keep hold of it. Now, the other important element to that is the fact that Semedo and Marcel are really holding the width, and there's a trust element there that, you know what, if they hold that width, that the ball will eventually come out to them, because ultimately, you know, United can bring their wide players inside, they can tuck their fullbacks inside and create a bit of a tight situation in there. So once the ball goes in here, you know that those players are out there to receive the pass. And there were a couple of situations that kind of showed that what happened there. You know, some of these stills, if you have a look, that we were in a situation within our own half where Martino was under a little bit of pressure. He was able to turn away, and before even looking up, he probably knew that Nelson Semedo was making a run in acres of space out on the right hand side. That's having a plan, that's trusting in the plan, and that's trusting the ability of the players within that plan to actually execute it as well. That's really, really important. Clearly, Manchester United don't have any of that within their team at the moment. But when you see players like Martino, Neves, Podence, Trincao, you know you can get the ball into them, and you know it's going to be a piece of quality on the end of it. You know, looking again at that kind of heat map, that this is a heat map of Podence, Trincao, Martino, and Neves within the middle of the pitch. They were just dominating proceedings. Look at the touch map to kind of crystallise that even further. They were totally in charge of the ball whenever it got into this kind of space. And when United were really struggling to deal with it. Now, we didn't quite translate that into more goals, more chances and really good clear-cut opportunities, which is a bit of a shame. I think the slow, methodical play at the back is good because it allows our kind of patterns of play to develop further up the pitch, people to manoeuvre into spaces, and you can't do that without players like Sace, Cody and Kilman all being very good on the ball. They're able to manoeuvre, say Cody gets pressed there, Sace is always available for a pass if he gets covered. There's always the ability to play within the three, which then opens up the space for these guys in the middle of the park. But then that trigger needs to come in the final third, and it all has to speed up, and you all have to play a little bit quicker. I think we're being a little bit too methodical in the final third when we're thinking too much about what we're trying to do. We had the outstanding attacking player on the pitch in Daniel Podence, and he really was excellent. But a couple of times he got into positions where he could have been a little bit more decisive with what he wanted to do, allowed Manchester United to get back into positions. And individual quality-wise, they've still got a high level, and players like Rafael Varane, even Phil Jones, they're able to defend properly in situations whenever they are faced up with a one-on-one situation. So we struggled a little bit at times with that, but we have the kind of blueprint here for what is a very good Premier League team, and it's worth remembering that we're able to go toe-to-toe with pretty much anyone in the league. Now, there's a very different proposition between facing Liverpool, City and Chelsea and facing Manchester United. But we knew we could overcome them with a good plan, a well thought out idea, and executing it well with a good quality bunch of players. And it's always worth being reminded of that, given the time of year that we're dealing with at the moment.